Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of What's Happening Now with CNI Solutions. As always, remember to like, share, and comment on this broadcast live, as there could be some information here not only useful to yourself, but useful to somebody else who may need it. Tonight's broadcast is being brought to us by Hello Guest Screen. Hello Guest Screen offers an easy way to personalize your Airbnb property TVs screens with custom images and dynamic calendar-driven guest information with all essential information upon their arrival. This guest screen not only works for Airbnbs, but it also will work if you have a doctor's office, a business where you just want your clients or your customers to know some information about your establishment and exactly what it is that you do. Don't forget, we got a few things coming up. We've already started our I should say it's the Renew Ready program, right, Brittany, with Drake State Community College. How's that going, Brittany?
It's going pretty well. Actually excited. We had day 2 this past Monday, and we got a lot done. We talked about one couple's business, and we ended up having a parking lot that conversation, which I'm excited about parking lots. So I'm definitely excited for what we have coming up next in the months we have with these.
Outstanding. That is going to be a dynamic class as it goes on throughout the summer. We're looking forward to it. We got a lot of great things coming up with it, and we're going to have a lot of great guests here for that particular class as well. Also coming up, don't forget, we have our 7-in-7 community baby shower. It is the first of its kind. You still can go ahead and donate if you did not have a chance to donate to the baby shower. Here is it on the screen. You can go to our website as well, or any one of our social media outlets. You'll see the 7-in-7 community baby shower. We'll be hosting the community for those who are 7 months pregnant or 7 months postpartum. Come on down. We'll have the registration set up in April. That's going to be on April 25th is when we're going to actually have the shower. But we plan to have food there. We're going to have doctors there. We're going to have OBGYN there. We're going to have medical staff giving out blood pressure to them. We're going to have people talking about postpartum depression. And we're going to be giving away a lot of much needed baby items to those mothers who are in need of those essential items. So please, if you didn't have a chance to donate, go ahead and please donate to that. So in the studio tonight, we have a very unique special guest. And the reason why I say unique special guest is because this lady is really dynamic in all she does. And if you look at the title, it says built for this. I know I used to brag to the family, my boys, my sons, I say, hey, I'm built different, but I never said I was built for this. Absolutely. So without further ado, let's talk a little bit with Miss Rosemary Jordan. Ma'am, how are you doing?
Oh, wow. After that introduction, I better be doing this absolutely fantastic, because you really got the people hyped up to an expectation of receiving something exciting from me. I'm actually doing really, really good. I'm excited about being here. I'm excited about the opportunity. I appreciate you guys allowing me to sit on your platform.
Okay. So like I said earlier, I always claim the fame that, I'm built different, and that's how I'm able to do the things I do. When someone says, Charles, how can you do that? I'm built different. Like this. Where does built for this come into play with you now?
Well, let me say this first of all. Built for this was released in 2023. Okay, so, and I'll be 65 in 10 minutes.
Okay, shut the front door.
Yeah, right. Slam that baby.
Lord. I don't know what Miss Rosemary been drinking, right. But after this show, you best believe her and I are gonna have a few conversations, because I want some of that water. Go ahead.
But yeah, so it was released in 2023. And it was just me in my kitchen thinking about everything that I've gone through in life. It's like, and I was like, guys, why you even let me go through these things that I've gone through from a kid? And it just, I heard it just as clear, you were built for this. And at first I was like, well, I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be built for this. It's horrible. And so as I was on my way to the gym, I saw bricks. And then it reminded me of stability. It reminded me of being tough, being hard, being a good foundation, being able to hold things up. Bricks are much needed even what bricks are made of in the foundation of a home. Even the concrete is made out of the same substance. So it just helped me to understand that all that I've been through has just caused me to be who I am today. And so that's how built for this.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I understood that built for this is. And then I began to look back over my life, and I thought about, when my son was murdered, and I thought about, drug challenges, drug usage. I thought about domestic violence. I thought about, what occurred to me as a kid. I thought about having to help raise my mother's children. I thought about, being pulled all over the place with my grandparents, always helping people. And I thought about how I was forced to serve, really.
Right. Your story, believe it or not, I think there's probably a lot of viewers out there who probably resonate with that, because there's a lot of people who was forced to raise their siblings, and had to go through a lot of trauma. And we often wonder, and we always think about our grandparents and how they did things way back then. How did you do that? How was you getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning and not coming home till 7 every day and working like this? And I guess, in a lack of better words from your shirt, they were built for this. They were built for this. So how do you deal with those type of challenges that you have been faced with? Especially at 65, I see a comment up there on the screen already, and someone said, we got Miss Sierra Goodell. She's saying, what is that you got? She says, wow, 65, black don't crack. Hey, Sarah, let me tell you something. I'm telling you right now, once I find out what this magic potion is, I'm letting y'all know, because I'm getting some of that. Trust me. So how did you deal with all that?
Well, as a kid, I probably dealt with it like any other kid, just not knowing what to do and just doing what I was told, and becoming hard, really, because I had to do what I was told. My mother had all these other kids. She took me from my grandparents, and I had to live with her to help her raise her children. And I didn't like her children because I was accustomed to living with my grandparents, and I was the only baby. So I had to make sure they went to school. I had to make sure their hair was combed. I had to make sure they took baths. So I became angry. Then I started lashing out and failing in school and running away from home and just being rebellious because I was being forced to do something without love.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Without understanding that you need to do this to help me because I need to take care of you guys. I was being forced to do something that I thought was your job.
Right.
And my mom not being able to convey that to me and hug on me and love on me and say, well, baby, I need you to do this. No. And so then it's being forced, not knowing that God actually created me to serve.
That's exactly right. We always think about our gifts and the things that we can do and our talents. We don't realize that our gifts and our talents isn't necessarily for us.
Exactly.
It's for everyone else out there. It's for us to give it to them. So you go through all this and you make it through those trials and tribulations, but you are doing much more now at 65 in the community than most people were basically doing their whole lifetime. Talk to us a little bit about that.
And again, I think that comes from being forced to. And so when I think about, like, my son was missing in 2007, and he was missing for 18 days. And when I tell you, I went to every place I could think of to go to, from manholes to what other holes, to look for my son. And when he was recovered, he was murdered and in the trunk of a car with another person. So with that trauma, God utilized that trauma and all that pain and all that suffering for me to be able to help hold up other mothers and aunts who were suffering. I mean, literally being at a homicide survivors meeting and holding on to people and, helping them to be better. And I'm suffering myself, And so I guess that's kind of when I began to realize that, even after being brutally abused in a domestic violence situation for years and still being able to work in that type of environment, be hired to help counsel other women and to love other women, I realized that that's what I'm supposed to do. I am supposed to certainly. I still don't know why I have to go through it. I don't. I think maybe God could just tell me about it, and I can understand it. I can comprehend. But apparently, those types of lessons I needed to. Those types of things I need to. I needed to endure
To understand.
in order to have the type of passion that He wanted me to have to serve.
Wow.
So, if that makes any sense,
it makes a lot of sense. And I say that personal wise because I did medical field for almost 15 years. And I thought my passion was medical field when the man up above, like he played them jokes on you, he pivoted me into another direction and brought me here to CNI Solutions, where I realized my passion wasn't the medical field. My passion was helping people. And I still get to fulfill that passion of helping people, regardless of whether it's in a medical sense or in the community sense where we sit now.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So, earlier we talked, before we got on, you was telling us about a lot of the programs that's going on that you're working on. Tell us a little bit about those programs.
Well, I'll tell you, right now I'm working on and ending a knock and drop. And so that's going to take place March 2nd. So again, mind my own business here. There goes God. I want you to do a knock and drop. I'm like, what is a knock and drop? Turns out a knock and drop is where you get the community to help you gather enough tissue and paper towels so that you can go knock on a bunch of seniors' doors, drop a bag, and keep moving. Not to conversate, not to do anything, but to say, we love you. I really believe, honestly, I believe that our community can serve itself. I really believe there's enough people within our community to take care of our community. So everything that I do is in my community in which I live. And everybody who supports it, for the most part, I say 90% live in our community. And so after the knock and drop, we will go into the end of school. And so before school is out, we will choose maybe anywhere from 30 to 50 students to actually recognize as honor roll students, Title I school honor roll students. That came to be because my son, when he was murdered, was actually on the dean's list.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so he was on the dean's list and has actually put down the down payment for his first house. So I'm really big on, that's how I became really big on helping students that are honor roll students. And we know Title I schools are Title I schools. And sometimes it's really hard to be on the honor roll. So then we have an honor roll dinner for them. We do an essay contest and they receive awards and monies and things of that nature.
That is awesome. And I want to touch a little bit on that, but I want to go back a little bit because I'm glad you capitalized on identifying your son's status, because a lot of people will associate someone being murdered as someone who was in a bad way. They were a bad person, or they was always hanging out in those bad areas, and especially the way that your son was murdered. It just goes to show it can happen to somebody who's a good person, who's doing excellently good in school, who's doing the great things, who's doing the right things. So, it's not always about someone who's always in the streets, who's always on the corners, hanging out at night. It can happen to any one of us. And I'm so glad you emphasize that, especially for all the viewers out there watching, hey, take time to recognize your kids. Take time to talk to them. Make sure they're aware of the dangers and everything that's out there, because it can happen to anyone. It doesn't have to be somebody who's just in the street. Just because they're a straight A student doesn't mean they can't get caught up in a bad way. All right. Yeah, so Title I schools. I love that idea of recognizing those kids, because you know why? We never hear that. We don't hear about that. We don't hear about that. We don't get to hear or see the good things coming from students from out of Title I schools. That is part of one of the reasons why, we at CNI Solutions are making our drive to put financial literacy in the Title I schools. Exactly. To get them educated. So I really, really love that, what you're doing on that aspect.
Exactly. Yeah, I love it too.
I think I got about 4 kids that we can put on your nomination roster for that honor roll.
Yeah, and really it doesn't even take anything but the fact that a parent contacted me and said, my student attends here and my student is graduating on the honor roll. That's all it takes. That is all it takes. We don't do I don't have time for background
So
checks, checking the school. No.
high schools? Or,
High school.
Okay.
High school. And then we turn around and we sponsor 50 freshman college students with basic need baskets.
Okay.
From here, that's going wherever they're going. So we do that too, because we don't recognize our students. We talk about when they're not doing good.
Yes.
We talk about when they're dropping out of school.
Yes.
We talk about what they don't have, but we do not put enough emphasis on the awesome minds that are in our Title I schools.
You are 100% correct. You are 100% correct. And I truly believe we do need to put more emphasis on that. Absolutely. And we do need to recognize them. I could tell you what, when I was in a Title I school and I was making A's and B's and high honor roll, wasn't nobody trying to organize Charles for anything. Only thing I was getting like, hey, go shovel that coal. Make sure that coal gets put into the furnace, boy. Like this, hey, go ahead and make sure you put all that stuff out.
Exactly.
There wasn't no praise or anything like that.
Parents were not even recognized. You're supposed to get good grades.
Right.
Get all A's. Well, you're supposed to make all A's. You know. And so we don't. That is just one of the things that is just really dear to my heart. Absolutely. And it's definitely Title I schools, because I always lived in or near a Title I school area, and I just believe that if we pour that love and that recognition into them, it'll come out.
Absolutely. Right. So when you're dealing with the community and you're dealing with parents who are survivors of a loved one who has been murdered, how do you I don't know, is it console them? How do you make them feel better? How do you make it? Does it ever get better? Does it even ever get better? Because I can't imagine what it's like. So does it get better?
I don't know that I even make anybody feel better at all, because honestly, no one could make me feel better. I mean, going downtown, kicking the swings in the park downtown, and almost been arrested didn't make me feel better. Cussing out the lady at Walmart because she asked me, did they find who murdered it? What do you know about it? I'm call the police on you. I don't know that I really make anybody feel better. But what I can say helps is just an embrace. Mm-hmm. Just for somebody to put their arms around you and let you cry till you get tired helps. Not so much to say I understand because I've been through it, because at this time the person that's grieving doesn't really care what you've been through.
Absolutely.
They don't even care if your child was with their child when they were murdered, because this is a personal grief.
Right.
And so just to be present and just to say nothing, just to hold you, just to let you scream, just to let you whatever release in whatever way you want to release, that's what you do.
Right. All right. Got a question here on the board here. I miss Sierra Goodell. She's saying, what are Title I schools? Very good question, ma'am. You want to explain to them what a Title I school is?
Do you know what a Title I school is?
I know what a Title I school is.
Explain it to them.
Do you know what a Title I school is? So, so Title I schools are normally those schools that are marginally disproportionated in the low to moderate income communities. They're going by test scores. If they don't reach a certain test scores, free lunches, things of that matter. Those are normally all your Title I schools like this, and are normally all the ones that don't get all the funding in the schools for the certain curriculums that those schools have to offer. As when you will go to a more affluent neighborhood, you'll see curriculums that you didn't even thought about would only be in college, but they're teaching them in those particular schools. So that's the gist of my definition of what a Title I school is.
And Title I schools also, as he was saying about free lunch, the majority of the school receives free lunch, and it is based on income. And again, it is in the areas where the incomes are marginal. And so, they become Title I schools, which also means that they're supposed to get all this great funding from the government because the funds is not in the community. Right. So it's supposed to mean, but we won't get into that right now. But that's what it's supposed to mean, that there should be funding in the government to bring that school up to the same level financially that those other schools are at. But again, we won't get into that right now.
So in your quest, in your journey, and doing this outreach in the community and helping the community, are you doing it by yourself? Do you have a team? Is there a group of you guys together working, doing all this? Or are you just basically, I'm a one-man band and I'm out there making it happen. And if you want to jump on board, come on, follow me. If not, it is what it is. I'm still going to go out and make it happen.
I have that attitude too. But I'm not a one-man band, a one-woman band. I've done that, and that's not what you should do. Even Jesus had 12 disciples, you know. So no. So I do depend a lot on my church, and we do a lot through there. At House of Hope and Restoration, we do a lot there. And my community is amazing. Normally, God just gives me an idea, and I just tell people this is what we need to do.
Right.
And then it's not like magic, but it's just like, yes, this is what we're supposed to do. And my church and my community, we just all come together and we make it happen.
That is awesome. Hey, viewers, those who are out here watching, if you're watching this program, please take time to share this with other people and reach out to Miss Jordan, because she needs your help. She wants your help. You know, she wants your support. You know, she needs somebody to be there with her on her side, you know, to do those knock and drops, you know, to help with these, recognizing these students in these Title I schools of doing an outstanding job and achieving great things. You know, well, we got another question here. Boy, I tell you, Miss Sierra Goodell, you are on a roll tonight, girl. You have. All right. So would you say the majority of schools in predominantly African-American areas are Title I? Pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yes. You pretty much hit that, you know, right on the target there. I would agree with you on that one, yes. You know, it's not too often. I'm trying to think in my memory banks if I've been in a different neighborhood that was predominantly Black and they had a Title I school, and I haven't recognized any. But I think the majority of them are in the predominantly African-American communities.
African-American and Hispanic communities.
Yes. Got another question from Ms. Shamika Hill. She says, what's her next event within the community? Ooh, okay. Well, besides the knock and drop, what else do you have coming up?
Okay, so we have the Title I School Honor Roll Dinner that we just talked about. Mm-hmm. We have that coming up, and that will come up in May, and we'll post more about that. And again, that is where we choose, we don't choose, but the parents notify us, or the teachers notify us, or some administrator notify us from different schools and say, hey, we have honor roll students that we would like for you to honor. So we do a full semi-formal dinner. We have entertainment. We have speakers. We sash everybody. We give away gift cards, prizes. So we have a really good time. And I think Shamika may have been a part of donating to the one that we had last year.
All right. Got another statement up here which says from Miss Lacey Jordan. She says, "Oh, this is amazing. We love Rosemary." Boy, I tell you, you got a lot of fanfare going out there. A lot of fanfare, and I love it. And be honest with you, and for those who are viewing and who are watching, and those who are making these comments, this is exactly what she's talking about, where our community could come together and make things happen. Mm-hmm. The way that you are supporting her and love the great things that she's doing. That's what we have to do as a community to make that change. Like this, we're not going to get everybody, but if we can just change one, hey, that's a plus. Absolutely. That is a plus, because then they will in turn teach one, teach one, right? So that I love. All right. So when this, how do you juggle all of this? And because you still have a business, correct?
I do have a business.
How do you juggle all this between your business, the community, and just making sure you're taking care of Rosemary?
Energy. I don't know where I get this energy from, but let me be quite honest with you. I do have a lot of energy, but it was only maybe a couple of years ago I began taking a look at Rosemary and how it is that I looked out for Rosemary, and how it is that I treated Rosemary, you know, and how it is that I embraced Rosemary, and I really wasn't doing a good job with her. And it was actually my daughter that kept feeding me little tidbits about self-care and not the nails in the face and, you know, all of that, and giving me little gifts, you know, little journals and different little things, you know, that kind of nudged me to look at myself and say, let me see. And then even therapy. I started going to therapy so that I could just really get a better understanding of me.
Right.
Who am I? You know, I know who I am, who I think I am, but who am I? And what do I deserve?
Right.
What does life have to offer me? That's just for me, not for me to give away to everybody, but what's for me?
Right.
What is really for me? And what's for me is love. I started to think about that. And we say we love God, and then we love our kids, and then we love our community, and we love da 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 da. So I was like, well, okay, now I do love God first, but let me put me second. So I've actually learned to put me second in the love lane, and not in a. Well, it might be selfish sometimes. I'll just go let it be selfish sometimes. To say no to this and to say no to that, and to even let Rosemary just rest.
Right.
To look in the mirror, Rosemary, and say, girl, you what's up, So I had to learn how to spend time with Rosemary.
It is so important that you say that, and I'm glad that you said that, because what I have known since I've been doing this, and since I've been teaching entrepreneurship, and since I've been in the community doing outreach and lunch learns, there are more African American people taking time to seek help, to go to counseling, to talk to therapists.
Me too.
And I'm glad to see that, because I'm seeing the change in our community, because and they're proud to say, like, hey, I was talking to my therapist today, and they said, I need to start letting things go, Charles. I'm like, hey, I hear you. I hear you. Let it go. I'm with you on that. Because if you know more than I know, years back, man, you let somebody of our skin tone talk about they want to go see a therapist or a
for Cocoa Puffs.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
And you black.
Oh, man.
You crack all you want to. You better not say you need therapy.
You better not say it.
We were taught that what's done and said in this house is done and said in the house. We got Uncle John locked up in the back room back there, but that's just Uncle John. You know? Right. And so everything is suppressed. No matter what you've gone through, it doesn't matter what it is. We were taught to suppress it. Yes. And you don't have to have been raped or starved or homeless or whatever to need therapy. Therapy helps you to become your whole true self. I have learned so much about myself in the last couple of years. And I've also learned that once I learned who I am, I can see everybody else clearer.
Absolutely.
And once I learned who I am and how much I deserve my love, then I realized, y'all just gonna get the overflow.
Right.
So if I give myself the best love, imagine what the overflow looks like.
Right.
There's an abundance.
Miss Rosemary, it didn't take me to get to 65, which I'm trying to get there.
Girl, get there, honey.
Listen, I'm almost there. It took me about 30 more years, right? But Mr. Charles can attest to this. I kind of went through that over the past 2 years. It took for 2024 to come in for me to realize that I was pouring myself out into everything else. And it was literally depleting my mental health. It was depleting my health. It was taking everything from me. And it took, like you said, to take a step back and look in the mirror like, girl, you deserve so much more. And I had to start being selfish with my time. I had to stop putting my energy and stuff out of the negative into the more positive, and it actually helped me to elevate a lot quicker and a lot faster, not holding on to all the other stuff. And I'm big on, like, I take on other people's problems. I take that energy and I take those problems and I burden myself with stuff that I know I cannot fix. So I definitely over here like, girl, she's throwing the rock over here at me.
Yeah, we do that. We do that, and I think that we've been conditioned to do it. One of the things that I did, because I have one daughter, and once I gave birth to that little girl, I decided I was going to raise her nothing. I was going to be total opposite the way my mom raised me. I mean, I went all the way left or right, and so that wasn't all good either.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But to teach a person to be self-assured, you also have to teach them to be vulnerable.
Right. We got a question of our Marshall, like a statement from Miss Rhonda Killam. She says, as a mental health therapist, mental health is real. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
We have to break the stigma around mental health, and we have to embrace learning to say it's okay to say I'm not okay.
Absolutely.
That is so true.
Very true.
That is so true, especially amongst men. No, man, if you get a group, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, those who are watching, if there's a group of men of us standing around, let one of them say, guys, I'm just not feeling okay. Oh man, they're gonna ride him hard and they're gonna do everything they can. But I'm here to tell you, it's okay. it's okay to say you're not feeling okay. And if they're real men, they'll stand beside you and say, hey, my brother, let's see if we can find you some help.
Absolutely.
Let's see what we can do to get you squared away.
But can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
So I just to jump in here, and I think the women are a bit like that as well. Like it's not easy. I don't hear women saying to me if I say I'm in therapy and I'm not a therapist. I post that all the time. And people cringe, women cringe, even when another woman says she's in therapy. Not that I give a flying fish that she's cringing, because I'm all about helping me, sister, so I can help you, or so I can see that you need help too.
Right.
So I don't know if it's just the men. I think that we just think men should have like this exterior, whereas they can't verbalize that they need help. But I think a lot of men are doing exactly what a lot of women are doing. We're not telling you.
Yeah.
We're just doing it.
Right.
Because we need our men to be men who are as whole as they possibly can be for that woman who is as whole as she possibly can be. So I don't think neither gender really shares that much about going to therapy with their friends or whatever.
Right. We got another statement here from Miss Sierra. She says, for so long, Black people were taught to just pray and not seek therapy. So, I'm going to say a little something on that, Sierra, because, I get a lot of people who come through Sinai's doors, and we get a lot of people who say, I'm just waiting for a sign. I'm waiting for God to show me what to do. I'm waiting for God to tell me what to do. But think about this. What if God has already given you all of that? You just need to go ahead and do it. You just need to make it happen. He's already given you the power and the strength to say no. He's giving you the power and the strength to say, yes, I can. He's giving you the power to say, I'm built for this. He's giving you the power to say, I'm built different like this. We just need to go ahead and do it. And I think, like you're saying, we've been taught that for so long, but we've already have it in us. We just need to go ahead and do it.
Absolutely.
And what was that statement again?
Let me put it back up for you real quick.
What was that?
For so long, Black people were taught to just pray and not seek therapy.
Okay, so this is my understanding of that. You're absolutely right, because we were taught to pray, but what we were not taught was prayer is a faith action. Prayer is we're believing that if we pray, something is going to occur. So that takes faith. Faith without works is dead. Dead. So you pray by faith, but you need to work that faith. And you need to walk by faith, right? That means moving right along. And we weren't taught with the understanding of that. I am going to pray every morning. Lord, give me strength to get through this day. Direct me where I'm supposed to go. And then I'm going to get up and start going. And so we have to understand that God is not coming off the throne to change anything. He's given us therapists. What are they here for? The same reason your medical team is here. We need mental healing just as we need physical healing. We'll go in the gym, built for this, and we'll work out, and we'll go get our yearly checkups, and we'll make the salads and just be just as jacked up in the head.
Right. Got a statement here from Miss Shamika. She says it's not a man or a woman issue. It's a stigma within the Black community as a whole. I can agree with you on that, Miss Shamika. I definitely can agree with you on that. So, Miss Rosemary, have you thought about being a mentor?
Not anymore.
Okay.
I'm just going to be honest with you. I have mentored. I have. Do I want the title of a mentor? No. Because I'm going to be 65 in 10 minutes. And this is my best life. Not taking on the responsibility for anyone else, but just doing what pleases me to help others. I mentor daily. I mentor through encouraging others. I have a group of people that I encourage all during the week. That's mentoring. I help lift them up when they're down. That's mentoring. I'm mentoring now by releasing this brand a year ago. So I'm mentoring by the way I live.
Right.
That is the stage of mentoring that I'm doing now. So do I want to take someone under my wing and give them a blueprint and help them walk through it? done that, that's not where I am. And I believe that we have to learn when it's time to move on.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
A lot of times we are doing a good work and we just want to stay there and do that good work. And we have great results. But there comes a time when we need to move into another avenue and give you a chance to mentor.
Right.
You know, so no.
I tell you what, this has been absolutely awesome. And it's been a joy having you here.
Thank
for
you.
you to share with us. Is there anything that you would like to share with the viewers before we let this night reside?
Yeah, just love yourself. I mean, honestly, just love yourself. Look in the mirror and whenever you get a chance to, and just look at yourself and just tell yourself how wonderful you are and how much you love yourself. Look at all of your perfections and imperfections. Embrace your imperfections, baby. I tell myself, I'm the most imperfect Rosemary that there ever will be. And I just love everything that's about this imperfect lady. So take the time daily, if you can, to take a look at yourself and embrace yourself and love yourself. And once you learn to do that, hey, the overflow from your love will be amazing.
Hey, I tell you what, I love that. I couldn't have said it better myself because, you know, I'm all about loving me some me. You know what I mean? I'm all about loving me some Charles. You know what I'm saying? But hey, seriously, folks, take time to share this and give it to somebody you think who can use this inspirational words from Miss Rosemary that she's given us tonight. She's been absolutely phenomenal. I told you she was one of those ones that was just going to make everybody go, wow, you know, I need to be in her presence as well. All right. All right. So don't forget, we still got our events coming up. The baby shower, the 7 to 7, that's going to be happening in May. If you still want to donate to the 7 to 7 baby shower, you still can do that. We are still taking donations for that all the way up to May. The event will take place on May 25th, and we are super excited about that happening. And as always, remember, your yesterday is not your today, and your today is not your tomorrow. Good night.